Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Build in Public. And yes, I'm holding some notes in my hands because, my brain gets super excited and then I jump from one topic to another without finishing the point here. So I want to make sure that I'm finishing my points. But anyways, welcome back. I've had coffee today and now I'm drinking some black tea. So the caffeine, bzz, the buzz is here. Anyways, let's talk about the foundational stuff today. Foundational SEO, which in my brain translates to on-page SEO. And if you are a freelancer, you will want to also shift into more of a business owner perspective if you want to grow your Facebook group and your and your agency. Okay. So you have the Facebook group, right? Full of business owners, maybe full of other SEOs. For me, that works out because I want my target audience is other SEOs who are looking for white label services from someone like me, or other business owners who directly want to work with, an SEO specialist to get results for their business, right? So, yeah, let's talk about the foundational stuff. So, I've made a career out of focusing on-page SEO, and it wasn't up until recently this year that I've also started looking at CTR and have done pretty decent with it, and also backlinks. Like I've tested a lot of stuff, and that's partially in credit to Kyle. When SEOs get together and they start showing each other nerdy stuff, and you're like, whoa, how the hell did you do that? But anyways, I've made a career based off of the on-site or on-page SEO. And it's because people, what's the word here? Other SEOs don't pay as much attention to it. They don't pay attention to it as much they think they do. I just gobbled up my words in the reverse order. But what I'm trying to say is like people kind of skim over on-page SEO and they think they know it really well just because it's so easy to do, but they're not really like squeezing the juice out of it. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I've onboarded clients, right? And that's okay. Whether you're another SEO or whether you're a business owner, there's so much stuff to learn, and that's the exciting part about SEO. So I'm not just talking about like meta titles and H1s and stuff like that. There's also things like, obviously, if there's under optimization, it hasn't been optimized, but then there's over optimization where I've seen keyword stuffing in the meta title, right? Along with the content. And it's like, you need to learn to recognize those things as well. And then if you have a GBP, right? A Google Business Profile, like all the categories on there, all the services that you offer, they absolutely need to have dedicated pages on your website, right? Like it's the little stuff that's not so little that can show an amazing gain in rankings, right? So you've got to do those things. You've got to look at your on page. You got to look at entities. They are a thing. It's simple because if you are writing about a topic and you know that topic, you will automatically include entities, right? But also, it's not as simple as that because if you write, I don't know, like I guess I would have to test that out, but entities are super important. And if you want to write out these Google updates, you absolutely need to do your on page on point and include entities in your content. Keyword density needs to be like it's a basic concept, but it needs to be on point. I don't like being an outlier. I don't like to include outliers in my average either, right? And yes, there are many, many awesome tools out there now that help you do on page, but in my opinion, there's a couple tools that can lead you to over optimization pretty easily, right? And it's not like Google tells you what over optimization is. And so it's not necessarily the tool's fault, it's a tool, right? Like you can use a knife to cut the ingredients for an amazing meal, or you could stab someone, and that sounds horrible. But it's an example. Like you need to understand what over optimization is, right? Or hire someone who does. For internal linking, I see people doing like, I don't know. To me, it's basic, but I'm not looking down on anyone. I'm just saying in my brain, it's basic, but I see a lot of people miss the mark on this. And when they hire me and I see these things, it's easy for me to spot it and say, okay, I got to do this with internal linking, right? So with internal linking, I'm seeing like, I don't know, blog posts that link out like 20, 30 times, right? And like every time you link out, dividing, you're divvying up the link juice. I don't know how else to put it. I would have to really break it down like in another beginner type video. but I usually limit it to like 3 to 5 internal links, where it makes sense. It's not like there's a rule, like Google hasn't given us a rule like, oh, only link out 3 times from a 1,000 word article, or you're wasting link juice or whatever, internal link juice. But that's my thumb of rule. It doesn't mean I don't link out twice or 6 times here and there. It can happen, but I definitely don't link out 10, 20, 30 times. That's just a lot. Also, this is just, I don't know, like this is a big one, just like backlinks. Okay, just like backlinks benefit from having peers, so do internal links. And that's all I'm gonna say. Okay. So this was a little bit of a rant about like the basics of SEO and how you need to be spot on with it, especially if you want to run an SEO agency. You need to be able to do the foundational stuff with your eyes closed, right? And not just you, right? Because you might be the business owner, right? Like you might have to shift into marketing and sales and hire another person, or build like a very small team, like 2 people or 3 people, to handle on page and off page, right? And in fact, I encourage you to do that and to teach thoroughly your team members the basics that people just kind of gloss over. It's kind of like not valuing what's in front of you, right? It's like the grass is always greener on the other side type of thing. So yeah, if you miss the mark on the basics, like you're never, in my opinion, you're not going to have a long-term thriving SEO agency, local SEO agency, right? So build out a team where you go over each thing, you define a standard operating procedure for how to tackle on-page SEO, and you hand it over to 1 or 2 team members. You make sure that they go over it and understand it, because I have found with SOPs that even though you think you're being clear, other folks can interpret it differently than you do, which is like hilarious to me, because I always think, oh no, I said this, but it turns out they understood it differently, right? Like just the way languages work. So yeah, get dirty with the foundational stuff. And I don't know what my camera is doing, so I'm gonna bow out. There we go. Calm down. I need a new camera, but I'm afraid I'm gonna invest into a nice camera and my cat's gonna wreck it. Sorry, hold on. Let's fix this. See, it's a short in the wire. I figured it out. It's a short in the wire. Well, anyway, thank you for hearing me rant. And if you have any comments, questions, drop them below. And please hit like. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, because I don't know. It just keeps the excitement going, right? I'm building in public, and like, I don't know. I'm putting myself on the line here, is what it feels like. So here's to you and me both growing our local SEO agency and killing it with SEO.